What's going on, Giants fans? I hope you had a great weekend. I know I did because I got to see the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys lose in the playoffs, and that was just exciting. It's not as good as the Giants win, but it is just as good, almost the next best things. If you enjoyed watching the Cowboys and the Eagles lose in the playoffs, like this video. You are watching New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green, and we have to take a deep dive into the latest head coaching buzz surrounding the New York Giants. They haven't yet hired their general manager, and John Mara said that they want to hire a general manager and then hire a head coach, but there are some big-time coaching rumors we got to get into, and the first one is Jim Harbaugh. Pat Leonard reported that Jim Harbaugh would pick up the phone if the New York Giants called, and he is interested and would entertain the New York Giants if they pick up the phone. So is Harbaugh waiting for the Giants to pick up the phone? I want to take a deeper dive into what Pat Leonard had to say, so let's get to it. When I first heard Jim Harbaugh's name being bandied about during the hiring cycle, I thought it was a leverage play by Harbaugh to squeeze Michigan for more money coming off a college football playoff berth. But I was extremely interested to learn from a reliable source that 1, Harbaugh's NFL interest is genuine, and that 2, the Giants' vacancy intrigues him, and he'd pick up the phone if they called. I think this is really important because a lot of people are like, Marshall, this would never happen. But I think we have to understand that the New York Giants are one of the most storied franchises in the NFL. And even though Harbaugh's a West Coast guy, I think he would jump at the bit of coaching the New York Giants. I think he sees an opportunity where the Giants, they have 2 first-round picks in the top 7 and 5 picks in the top 85 in the 2022 NFL draft. He has a young quarterback that's similar to Alex Smith that he got the absolute best on. We'll touch on those stats in a quick second. But even if he doesn't want Alex Smith, the Giants, they have the assets and the resources to go get any quarterback they want in the National Football League. I want to revisit this tweet from Adam Rittenberger, who works for ESPN. He dropped this bombshell back on January 4th. He said at the beginning that him and Bruce Feldman reported the Raiders are the likeliest spot if Jim Harbaugh wants to return to the NFL. He started coaching with the Oakland Raiders before Michigan. He and his wife lived on the West Coast. But the most important part, I had heard the Giants' job could have interest in him if it was open. That was before Joe Judge got fired. Now he's out. The job's open. That's 2 reliable sources that cover the New York Giants and work for reputable places that have reported that Jim Harbaugh would be interested in the New York Giants. More Jim Harbaugh notes, it's obvious that he has interest in returning to the NFL. He told a recruit in the past couple weeks that he would entertain NFL job offers, and we cannot beat around the bush. What he did with the San Francisco 49ers cannot be denied. 3 straight NFC Championship appearances in his first 3 seasons, and that was coming into a nasty and disgusting San Francisco 49ers organization that hadn't made the playoffs for the prior 10 seasons. I really like the work he did with Alex Smith, and we have to also acknowledge that he has been linked to the Raiders and Bears on top of the New York Giants. The Raiders are currently the betting favorite for Jim Harbaugh, but we know Vegas sometimes gets it wrong. Maybe if whoever the next GM for the Giants has an in-tune relationship with Jim Harbaugh, he'd give him a call and he would be the guy for the job. I want to touch on what Alex Smith did prior to when Jim Harbaugh arrived in San Francisco. He was really rough over his first couple of seasons, a 19-31 record while completing just 57% of his passes, a 51 to 53 touchdown interception ratio, and just 174 yards per game. And then Jim Harbaugh arrived, and things turned around for Alex Smith. He didn't become the best quarterback in the NFL, but when you go from a 51 to 53 touchdown interception ratio to 30 to 10, that's progress, and Harbaugh is definitely a driving force behind that. He upped his completion percentage to 64.3% and upped his yards per game to 187. Alex Smith is a very similar quarterback to me to Daniel Jones, and I think Harbaugh would like the chance to work with Daniel Jones and could get the best out of him if that's the avenue that him and the next Giants general manager want to go. But let me know, should the Giants hire Jim Harbaugh? Type HJ in the comments if you want the Giants to hire Jim Harbaugh. Everyone loves a good HJ. If not, type DHJ in the comments if you want to don't hire Jim. I want to thank everybody that's hit that big red subscribe button. We are on the brink of getting to 5,000 subscribers here on the channel. We've gained over 1.2 thousand subscribers in the past 28 days, and that's a credit to everyone that's hit that big red button. I'm extremely grateful, and I want to thank every single one of you. And if this is your first time watching the New York Giants Now by Chat Sports, hit that big red button. All we do here at this channel is react to breaking news and talk about rumors. And the thing that makes us different than every other Giants YouTube channel, we are the most interactive out there. So anytime we ask you to get in the comments, do so. But if this sounds like something you'd enjoy, free Giants daily videos, hit that big red button. We continue to talk about the latest New York Giants head coach rumors. It is a little weird that they continue to pop up from reputable sources and beat writers, even though a general manager is not in place. And the latest report is the Giants are very interested in Brian Daboll. Brian Daboll was his ability as a play caller and an offensive coordinator was on full display in the wild card weekend against the New England Patriots. 5 straight scoring possessions, and he's helped Josh Allen really reach his absolute maximum potential. Allen always had a lot of tools and potential in his bag, but it was Brian Daboll and, of course, the quarterback coach, Ken Dorsey, has worked with him very closely and gotten the most out of him. So I don't want to give all the credit to Brian Daboll, but when you're a play caller, it's your job to get the quarterback in a position to be most successful, and I firmly believe Brian Daboll has done that. I mean, look at the stats. Josh Allen in his first 2 seasons, he just really did not show that he could be a reliable quarterback. A 10 to 12 touchdown interception ratio in his rookie season. His second season, he got better, but still completed less than 60% of his passes, threw 20 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. And then 2020, he took one of the biggest leaps in NFL history, completed almost 70% of his passes, north of 4.5 thousand yards, a 37 to 10 touchdown interception ratio. And then he continued that success this year. The completion percentage dipped a little bit. I think the Brian Daboll let the offense open up a little bit more, and that's a good sign. I think that's why the numbers dropped a little bit, but still 36 tutties and 15 interceptions. And another important note, you have to remember the Giants, they have interviewed Joe Schoen as their general manager, and he is, according to people that I've talked to and read and followed on Twitter, he is the favorite to be the next Giants general manager. And a pairing of Schoen and Daboll would be very intriguing. What they've been able to do since they've come into the Buffalo Bills organization is one of the more impressive turnarounds in recent NFL history. This is a team that is playing against the Kansas City Chiefs this week in the divisional round. And I don't think anyone would be surprised if they go down to Arrowhead Stadium and knock off Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. I would love to have this GM and head coach duo in New York City. But sound off for me. I'm curious where all of you guys stand on this. I think the Brian Daboll stock is higher than it's ever been following the wild card weekend, so let me know. Should the Giants hire Brian Daboll? Type H for hire, or if you're not in on Daboll, type P for pass. If you want to bet on the divisional round and this upcoming weekend for the NFL playoffs, do it with our proud sportsbook partners, BetUS. When you go to chatsports.com/bet and plug in the promo code CHAT125, do those 2 steps, deposit $100 into your account, and they will match that with a 125% deposit bonus. So you'll have 225 doll hairs in your account to bet with. There's a lot of games you can choose from. You can bet on Super Bowl favorites. You can bet on absolutely anything at BetUS. One more time, chatsports.com/bet, promo code CHAT125. Doug Pederson, is he the favorite to be the next New York Giants head coach? These rumors came out this past weekend in the sports book. They listed Doug Pederson as the favorite to be the first Joe Judge replacement, and I don't hate it, and we'll touch on some things that I like and dislike about Doug Pederson, but I want to get to this tweet so we can just hit it off right. The Draft Network, they said this: former Eagles head coach Doug Pederson is now the betting favorite to be the Giants' next head coach. And they asked, just like I'm going to ask, Giants fans, how would you like to see Pederson leading the charge in New York next season? So let's take a deeper dive and give you some more info on Dougie P. He coached the Eagles from 2016 to 2020. He was fired in 2020, went 42-37-1 in 5 seasons with the Philadelphia Eagles. But the most important thing, He got them to a Super Bowl, won a Super Bowl, outcoached Bill Belichick, and won it with a backup quarterback. He led the playoffs to the Eagles, to 3 straight playoff appearances, and then he won also another playoff game in the 2018 playoffs. This is a guy that's a culture setter, and players love to play for him. I kind of call him the anti-Joe Judge. Joe Judge is conservative, tries to back into wins. That's not Doug Pederson. Doug Pederson is going to put his nuts on the table and go for the win. This is someone that I think could really turn around this New York Giants franchise. And if it wasn't between a dispute between him and Howie Roseman, that's essentially why he was fired. If the Giants can get a guy in like Ryan Poles, who has ties to Doug Pederson, get a GM that's a fan of Doug Pederson, is on the same type of thinking mind frame, I think Doug UP could be a long-term fixture for the New York Giants. I mean, guys, let me know what you think of this photo. It was a Photoshop. Shout out to the Draft Network. They had tweeted this along with the tweet that Pederson was the favorite. I think he looks kind of good in Giants blue. I really think he is at the top or near the top of my Giants wish list of Giants head coaches, but I want to hear what you have to say. Should the Giants hire Doug Pederson? If you think he could come around, turn this franchise around, get him back in the playoffs, and he's the man for the job, type Y for yes. If you're like, Marshall, no way, he tanked and he lost a game against the Giants on purpose, type N for no. And if you think like that, you're never, ever going to get it. This guy did what's best for his team at the current moment. I'm typing my Y for yes. I'm all in on Doug Pederson. I will continue to tweet about the Giants GM and head coaching search until it happens. So hit me up on Twitter and give me a follow at MarshallGreen_. I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers as soon as possible. So everyone that's still watching this video, go and hit me up and send me a DM letting me know you came from this video, and I'll give you a follow back.